Good morning, Book of Face people. Here comes my cat to join us for day 3 of the 5-day Speak Up and Be Visible. That's Toya, everybody. Toya, people don't want to see your butt. I'm a minute early, so I just give people time to join us. Hi, Kirsten. Toya has decided to come and knock things off the table. All right, come on, darling. You can sit on Mummy's lap for a little while. So I'm really excited about how the challenge is going so far and the feedback from people. People have been posting in the group. People have been private messaging. And it's an absolute honor to be able to serve people in this way, to be able to start to identify what's actually going on and why we're holding ourselves back. It's a process that I've been working through. So it's now 9 o'clock. So to honor those people that have made it right on time, I will get started. Thank you everyone for joining us. And I have 2 pages open. So I'll flip between the 2 screens to check for comments between both. And let's do a quick review of where we're at so far. So we're about to do day 3, which is just checking in with our core message, exploring perturbation, more of those feelings and things that can potentially hold us back unless we know how to harness them for good. But firstly, we had a look at our fear and the beliefs that come from fear. And we started getting them out of our head and onto paper, because when we do that, we can step back a little from it and start to really explore from a more analytical perspective how much of these fears are potentially going to come true. And something that I noticed is there's very much a common thread around these fears, and that's fears of judgment. What will people say? What if people don't agree with us? And another one is, what if people ignore us? And that was used to be a big one for me as well. What if nobody valued what I had to say? And then the next day we had a look at courage and purpose, and we had a look at the shadow values. And you could potentially even start to link the fears and the shadow values together. And instead of pushing those shadow values away, maybe if we embrace them and own them, that can definitely help remove the fear. Because when we're living in a space of having our golden values here and our shadow values here, and being able to connect them and meet in the middle and be in a state of balance with all of those, we live in that real space of true fulfillment in our life. And for those of you that read the emails, you may have noticed that if people are keen on Saturday, for people that are registered, and if you're not registered for this, ping me your email and I'll pop you on the list. I am open to doing a bonus coaching day, and I can take some people through some values elucidations, and we can do some more work around what we're covering over the course of the challenge. My gift to you for participating. Anyway, so out of those things, the next thing is now, today, I want us to be open to exploring our core message a little more and really working with that and connecting it with our purpose. And then I've got my notes here, and then exploring perturbation, which can hold us back. So let's get into it. Now, when I look at my core heartfelt message, and I look at the work that I've done around my purpose, which is to educate, entertain, and inspire, and being able to distill it down to those 3 words, what I've realized, everything that I do is about service, is about being able to help people, support people, to serve them and uplift them in whatever area that I work in. And this is why I asked the question. It was a bit of a throwaway question yesterday, but I really want us to actually really focus on coming up with some answers for this question today. If I rang you at 2 a.m. in the morning and came up with an idea, or had to say something to you that would just get you out of bed, jumping up ready to go and do that thing, what is that thing? What is it? Now, a couple of people said they couldn't think of anything. So I'm going to challenge you to just give yourself a little more time to sit with that. Because it was a throwaway question yesterday, and I realized last night how important that question actually is for today's content. And so I sat with it, and I'm like, I'm a sleep person. I like to sleep, and I reckon there's a lot of people out there that also like to sleep, especially at 2 a.m. But I thought, what would get me up? And that would be the phone call of somebody saying, I need you. I need your help. I'm stuck. I'm upset. Something's going on. I'm struggling. For me, that is the service. That's the space of being able to go, yep, cool, I can help. I can support someone. I can support their mindset. I can support them emotionally. So I really, really encourage you to really sit with that, because then when your core message, when you understand who you are inside you and why you're truly, truly here, that helps drive everything. And that question is, if I rang you at 2 a.m. in the morning and said something to you that would get you jumping out of bed, what would it be? Now, for some people, it could be something that you're really passionate about. It could be, I need you to write an article that's going to be featured globally on the internet by somebody famous. I need you to go and interview this person for this article, this magazine, whatever it is. And with this answer, I don't want you to filter. There's no right or wrong, good or bad or whatever. It is what it is. It's who you are. And it's like yesterday with the Post-it notes. I'm allowed. I am allowed to be me, and I'm allowed to embrace whatever that thing is that is going to fulfill my purpose. Because remember, when we link our purpose and our message and our values, and when we understand that we have a choice on how we want to deal with fear and those emotions, our ability to step up and speak our truth, speak what's important to us, and to put that message out further and stop hiding in Facebook groups, but speak that with confidence, everything changes. Now, also when we look back in our childhood, there's definitely space in here for healing. The more work I do, and yes, I'm a business strategist and that's what I'm known for, but the more that I explore this and work with this, the more that I know to be able to speak up and be visible, to be able to be clear, and to own your space online and own who you are, you have to do the inner work. You have to do the healing. And that's why I've moved back to one-on-one, to serve, support, empower, and uplift, to get the mindset and the emotions and the healing and all of that stuff done, so that anyone I work with can go, yep, I'm ready to step up. I'm ready to walk away from fear, and I'm ready to own the outcomes that come with me speaking my truth. So this core message, and we do, we talk about it a lot. And when I talk about perturbation, you'll get a little bit more clarity around it. But this core thing, some people identify it as their zone of genius, right? So what is your zone of genius? Now, read Gay Hendricks' book, Zone of Genius, The Big Leap, and discover your zone of genius. Because when you're in flow and you're in that space, nothing can touch you. And we know that when we're online, people have opinions, and people have this bias towards hanging on to their own beliefs. We talked about this in day one. So you can either start shrinking back, or you can go, no, I'm a person in my own power and I'm willing to speak my truth. There's that whole saying, speak your truth even if your voice shakes. And for those of you that have been following me for a while, I've spoken up about a lot of things that are personal, that are potentially going to tap the fishbowl, rock the boat, upset some people, but I still speak it, because for me, service and being able to be the voice for people that don't have that confidence to speak up yet, that's one of the components of what I do. So here's some questions that I think will help. I've taken these out of the Big Leap, and I want you to sort of start meditating and thinking over these questions today, and then I'm going to take you through perturbation. Right. Where do I feel out of integrity with myself in my business? So we're all here pretty much, I think, for business stuff, to be able to be more confident and speak up about the work that we do. So where do I feel out of integrity with myself in my business? For me, last year, it was teaching course building. People were shocked and horrified that after building that up for nearly 2 years, I went, no, I'm not doing it anymore. I wasn't in integrity with it. Too many people buying courses, they weren't finishing them. There were too many really shitty designed and built online courses out there. So I said, no, I'm not contributing to that. So I stopped. What is keeping me from feeling complete and whole? So professionally, it was doing things in my business that, yes, they were potentially going to make me money, but they weren't feeling good. So I stopped listening to people telling me what I had to do, and I started going in and listening and trusting my own intuition. So what is keeping me from feeling complete and whole? What important feelings am I not letting into my awareness? So have a think back to the shadow values, right? Are you denying half of who you are? Are you denying that? Superiority, man. Attention. I own it. I love attention. I wouldn't be here doing Facebook Lives with this. Because by getting attention, it means that my core message, it means my ability to serve is easier. So why would I hide from wanting to get attention, right? So it's that flip on the shadow and owning it, and I am a bit of a control freak. So what? The people who know me love me, and the people who work with me in my business, they get that and they look at that as leadership. So when you flip all of these things and start to own the golden and the shadow, see how more empowered you become, right? And this all ties in with being able to step up and speak your truth and to own being more visible online. Now, I know there's a whole heap of comments, and I will go through them and we can chat through them. A couple of more questions. Where in my business life am I not telling the truth? Oh, that's an uncomfortable one. I dealt with this earlier this year. I no longer agreed with what was being taught, and I started speaking my own truth about the cycles of business and what people needed when, as they were growing their business. And it didn't fit other people's models, and it made them uncomfortable. I've left networks because of speaking my truth, because I couldn't stop lying about what I was seeing in business. It just was, integrity is one of the golden values, right? So I felt so out of integrity. And so I was going through my big launch for my mastermind, and I couldn't not speak what I really was seeing. It's cost me relationships, friendships, communities, and networks. And I feel great. So, where in your business life are you not telling the truth? And here's a tough one. Where in my life have I not kept my promise? Little things all over the place, probably. Big ones, promises to myself. That's something that you can look at. Can't think of anything major off the top of my head that's suitable to share. Can't really think of anything right now, but that's a big one. I know there's been times where I probably haven't delivered in the way that I might have said, but that's probably about it. But those questions, I want you to start really exploring those, because when we can get you back into that space of integrity and honoring who you are and being really connected with your core message and who you are and your shadow values plus your golden values, you stop being afraid and start allowing courage to take the place of fear. And you start understanding and embracing the fact that, okay, I don't know how this is going to work, but the only way I'll know is by taking the action, all of a sudden things will massively shift for you in your business. And this has been my journey over the last 3 to 6 months. And I'm still here. Did I die? I did not die, right? So it's a little inside joke with a few people. But what comes up when we're doing all of this? So, yep, so there's some things that were holding me back. Yep, somebody left a job because they couldn't face that they weren't in integrity with it. Audrey's genius is thinking universally and outside of the box. What have we got over here? Services for Maggie as well. The shadow's actually helping Bethany feel more comfortable. So remember the post-it note? I'm allowed. It gives you a lot of permission to be able to really step up and start serving. You've got to get the inner game right. And yes, I teach people how to systemize and automate and do all of the marketing and all of this stuff with their business. But the core is the mindset and the ability to take the action to do any of these things. Because, you know, we've been conditioned that change is scary. But what if it wasn't scary? It was actually exciting. Ooh, reframe. Anyway, so now I want to talk about perturbation. Now, normally I have big flip chart stand and I stand up and I draw it. But instead, what I'm going to do is attempt to draw it here for you and not cut my head off in the camera, etc., etc. Might push that back a little bit, give myself some room. All right, let's talk about perturbation. Now, some of you have heard me talk about this before, but it's always good to revise because revision is also the breakfast of champions. All right, so this is you. And this here represents the edge of your comfort zone. So you're going through life and you're doing all your stuff and your things and you're moving towards the edge of your comfort zone. And then you get to the edge of your comfort zone. And this is what happens. You start feeling uncomfortable because this is all new, right? So you're there and you're feeling uncomfortable. You might actually find that your palms get a little sweaty, your heart starts racing, and you're pushing against the edge of your comfort zone. Now, one of two things will happen here. A lot of people, they don't like this feeling of discomfort. They think it's bad. They freak out, they panic. And while they've gotten to the edge of their comfort zone here, and they've learned some stuff, they go back to where they were before, everyday activities again, and nothing actually changes. But what happens when we hit the edge of our comfort zone and we push through? We transform. Trans meaning form, change meaning, trans meaning shape, form, transform. I've got it wrong. Trans meaning form, change meaning shape. So we actually change shape. This is where we get the breakthrough. And once we've had the breakthrough, we can't go back to who we were. We've changed. So when we give ourselves permission to step up and change, this is where we get true transformation. Because here, you've just had an aha moment. But until you allow yourself to break through, you don't get the growth. So who here, I'll give the post some hearts, some likes if you've ever gone skydiving, right? So I did a tandem skydive for my 26th birthday. All my friends chipped in and took me skydiving, right? It was pretty amazing. But here's the thing, right? So you're in the plane and you're strapped to the front of the dude and you're in the plane. So I was all really jovial. I'm like, yep, cool. Going to jump out of a plane. Then I'm in the plane. Plane starts going up, right? See the other person jump out. All of a sudden, throat goes dry, hands get sweaty. I'm starting to freak out a little, right? I'm like, holy moly, I'm going to jump out of a plane. The guy behind me pushes me to the thing and I'm looking over the edge. And I had this moment of like, I don't want to go, I don't want to do it. Freak out. So then behind me, the guy pushes me out, right? And all of a sudden I'm just in free fall. It was the most amazing experience, right? Kind of like edge of comfort zone, push through, transform. So here was my tandem jump dude. He was the person that was able to support me to get the transformation. And this is where I say to anyone, if you are struggling to transform yourself, A, get somebody to help you. But when you have this feeling of perturbation, the butterflies, you're feeling a little sick, sorry about my crooked drawing, feeling a little unwell, feeling a little stressed, champions recognize that this is the moment where when they push through, when they get that breakthrough, this is the moment of transformation. And if when you have that feeling, you can start to embrace that as the feeling of a champion, that those sweaty palms, the butterflies, the nervous feeling, when you identify that as you are about to transform and grow and change, all of a sudden, running back to what you were doing previously, it's no longer even an option. Learning about perturbation was one of the best things I ever learned, and I will be eternally grateful to Clinton Swain from Frontier Training for teaching me that. And Robin's just had a massive moment, which is good. Right. So your core message, tap into that, tap into your heart, look at your purpose, look at how your shadow values, when you align to those and bring those values on either side into that state of balance, how it actually loosens up your ability to speak. It gives you more confidence. So here's a little, quite a little simple sentence that you can use. I help, insert how you help, to insert who you help and how you help them, because it allows me, insert, and helps them, whatever. So that little phrase, that'll help you tap into your core message, help you tap into your values and align into that. It will give you a really simple sentence to be able to go, yeah, cool. So for me, I help business women to step into the next level of confidence because it allows me to fulfill my values, both light and shadow, and fill my calling of service, and it helps them to spread their message to a greater audience. Nailed it. so that's it. So I help, insert, to, insert, because it allows me, insert, and helps them. And you know what? We're taught that it's, you're not allowed to be selfish. You've got to put everyone else first, but you're allowed, I'm allowed, you're allowed to be fulfilled and satisfied in what you do. Like I think it's imperative, because otherwise we get trapped in businesses and jobs and doing work to please everyone else, and we never have that true moment of fulfillment in our own lives. And it's a journey. It takes time to get there. I'm not saying it'll happen overnight, but seriously, start asking yourself these questions. Start filling these things in and just give yourself even more permission. Because when you're in flow, when you're on purpose, and when you're owning all sides of who you are, your ability to speak from the heart and heal from the past, and then to be able to give and share from all of you, not just the parts of you that you feel that are okay to share publicly, that you can share from the dark and share from the light. You don't want to hide your voice anymore. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Have a think about those things. Pop into my Facebook group if you're not ready to share any more of these things live. It's Chicks That Mean Business. You know the hashtag and everything. You would have gotten all the emails. Give yourself permission. You are allowed. We're all allowed. So let's go and live even further into purpose, to our core message, embrace all our values, light and dark, and let's really start making a difference in the world, hey? See you tomorrow at 9 a.m.